beautifuls, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Mystic Destinies, Serendipity of Aeons, and we're here with our dad to talk business. Not really. Talk about, well, business and mom, but, you know, whatever. I take a sip of my wine, giving myself some time to sort out my thoughts and how to begin explaining everything. I look up at Dad. He's watching me with a gentle smile, and I know he's patiently waiting for me to start talking whenever I'm comfortable. I take a deep breath. I need to talk to you about everything that's been going on in my life. There's a lot, so you might be surprised. I tell him everything, what's been going on in as much detail as I can, and everything that Katsunosuke said about Shizuka. Dad listens to everything very patiently. He doesn't rush me, even when I have to pause a couple of times to gather myself. I'm so sorry that you had to go through all that, sweetie. I had no idea that your life had become so difficult. You must know that you don't have to sacrifice yourself or your future for the business. And you certainly don't have to marry anyone for it. He sighs, and for a moment I see how tired and sad he seems. Dad tries to smile for me, but it comes out more like a grimace. As for what Kosama said about your mother, I think it's about time you know that. How we met, what I know, everything. I lean forward in my seat, listening to every word. Dad tells me the story of himself and Shizuka from the very beginning. That they met over 30 years ago when he was still very young, very arrogant, and very hot-blooded. He fell in love with Shizuka very quickly, but she wouldn't give him the time of day, not like that. At the time, he didn't know that she was an immortal. How could he have known something like that? I mean, who's like, oh, is she immortal? Is he immortal? No one in reality does that. But even if I had known, it wouldn't have stopped me in the slightest. There was always something so lonely about her. I wanted to help take some of that loneliness away from her. He tells me that somehow he managed to get her to agree to finally go out with him. For a while, it was amazing, but during one of their dates, something had attacked them, and Shizuka was forced to reveal her magic to defend him. I think, in that moment, I fell even more in love with her, with the incredibly powerful and wonderful woman that she was. After that, Shizuka had told him the truth about herself, that she could never die. Dad didn't care. He wanted to be there for her, even if it was just for something that might have seemed like a blink of an eye to her. But Shizuka left, and no matter how or where he looked for her, he couldn't find her. Dad did try to move on, and he was very happy with Keiyo's mother, but unfortunately she was a very frail woman. After the death of his first wife, Dad renewed his search for his Shizuka, and that's when he found her, and me. He tells me of how torn Shizuka was over her decision to go through with the ritual. Giving birth to you is perhaps one of the very few decisions that she didn't regret in her long life. I mean, it's to pass on me. Pass on her power to me. Of course she would be happy. You are her treasure, and you became mine too. You aren't my daughter biologically, but that doesn't matter. It never mattered to me. In my heart, you're as much my daughter as Keiyo is. Dad, I wiped away the tears forming in my eyes. I love you, sweetie. You're my precious daughter. Never forget that, okay? Aww! I love you too, Dad. Thank you for finally telling me this. Hearing what he had to say leaves me feeling relieved, knowing that she didn't hate me, knowing that she might even love me, wherever she is. Well, where am I? I guess my bedroom in this house, or somebody's room. As I lie in bed that night, I reflect on what my father told me. All those times, all the dreams, she had seemed so sad, so unwilling. Now I understand why. But does that mean I subconsciously knew she felt that way? Or does it mean that she was really there? Maybe she was really there. Maybe that's her only way to communicate with us. I don't know the answers to those questions, but I finally feel like I can stop being so afraid. She didn't hate me. She didn't want to hurt me. Even if I can't agree with what she did, knowing that eases so much pain in my heart. I realize now that all the doubts I have in my heart don't have to roll over me. Somehow hearing that story, hearing that I'm the daughter of a woman that's strong, it makes me feel that I have enough strength to deal with anything life throws at me. I'll make my decision and do this. I won't let either of my parents down. Now, I'm running. Oh, I haven't had a dream like this in a long time. Not since I told Tatsuya about Shizuka. Somehow, I can think these logical thoughts, but I'm still running in the darkness. It's like I'm watching myself play a role in a movie. I stop, hearing a voice. What? From my left, Tatsuya's voice. A voice I've missed so much calls out to me. Am I right? A smooth but lazy voice that irritates the hell out of me. They're both calling for help. I realize that I can't help both of them since they're in opposite directions. It seems like Tatsuya is the right choice, but I remember all the awful things that we said to each other. And how rashly and violently he acted without remorse. But if she thinks back, Tatsuya warned her about this before, like just a minute before they both fought. So he warned you. And how Katsunosuke's intentions aren't bad ones. How he wants to prevent more mistakes from happening. But you gotta remember how he rudely talked about you. So I have this awful feeling that if I choose wrong, I'll ruin hundreds, no thousands of lives. Which is very true. Without me, though, I know they'll both die. I sink to the ground in the darkness, sobbing. Who should I choose? I love Tatsu, though. But I would be risking thousands of lives. I don't know what's the right choice here. Neither? Because that's just bad ending? I don't know. After anxiously debating, I make my choice. And then I wake up. I love Tatsu, though. He's done messed me bad. But he did warn us about the side of him. So, that was the dream I had this morning before I left my father's home for school. I woke up crying, finally realizing just how stressed out I've been over this. I made it through the school day, but when I see Tatsuya in the hallway, I thought I might start crying all over again. I can't go on like this anymore. I finished cleaning out the coffee machine and closed the lid, and she walks up to me. Oh, I miss that face. There's someone here to see you. Me? And she gives a brief nod and returns to the bar. I walk up to the bar and gasp when I see who's standing there. Haruna. Hello. Hi? I'm sure you're wondering what I'm here for. Well, yeah. I don't have much time to speak right now, but I was hoping you could come by Carnivalas, and you get off later. I've been trying to get in contact with you for a few days now, but I didn't know when you'd be working. Oh, well, okay, sure. I have a break in an hour. Will you still be there? Yes, I'll be there all evening. I'll see you later then. Okay. I'm guessing she's gonna tell us her side of the relationship. With a small bow, Haruna excuses herself and I watch her go with confusion. What just happened? There's a small part of me that's a little jealous too. Now that I've talked to her directly, her mannerisms seem so delicate and cute that I can see why Tatsuya would like someone like her. I breathe out slowly, not wanting to even remotely get started down that path. Oh, I'll be sad as hell. I might end up crying at work if I don't stop it. I'll just have to focus on my job until I can see what she wants. That thought is about all that keeps me from going crazy with curiosity over the next hour. I walk into the lounge. This time there's customers sitting at the bar and on the couches. I nervously pull my hands through in ponytail as I look for Haruna, but I don't see her. Maybe I should go ask someone. Right as I'm about to go to do that, I realize that someone is playing the piano. It's Haruna herself. She plays a soft, jazzy number. She looks appropriately melancholic, but I don't think it's an act. That's not good. An unpleasant thought runs through my mind. She looks so elegant playing. I should probably be with someone like her. Can you stop? You're making me sad. Stop it. Wait, what if that's what she wanted to tell me? What if she's going to ask about Tatsuya so she can date him? Or maybe they're already dating and she's going to rub it in my face. I don't think she would do that. She doesn't seem like that kind of person, though. As I stand there fretting, Haruna looks up and her eyes meet. Her song slowly comes to a stop and a few patrons give a round of scattered applause. She walks around the piano to me. Thanks for coming. Is it alright if we go sit at the end of the bar? Sure. Haruna and I seat ourselves at the very end of the bar, a few seats away from the other patrons. The bartender comes over and Haruna looks at me. You want a drink? Just some water is fine. Haruna looks at the bartender and he nods and grabs a pitcher of water and a cup for me. As he pours it, I start to wonder why Haruna is being so nice to me. Maybe she's always this nice? Or maybe she's just making a show of it. I think she's always this nice. We just don't feel comfortable with her because she's his ex. And we felt some type of way. I accept the glass and look at Haruna as I drink it. I can't help but be suspicious of her intentions. After the bartender leaves, she begins talking. I'm sure you're wondering why I've called you here. My computer's lagging. Hello, do you guys see that blocky loading? It's not something that was an easy decision for me to make. But I'm so worried that I knew I had to try and help some way. Worried about what? Has something happened? Yes and no. I'm sure you figured this out, but it's about Tatsuya. I went to visit his mother last week at Blue Sky to see how he was doing, but she wasn't like her usual self. She was very worried about him. She said he wasn't acting as he usually does. Is he as broken as I am? What? But I've seen him around at school and he seemed fine to me. It's just a phase. It's just a fake face. What do you mean? He told me that he and you broke up, and I had no idea you were even together. But she said after that he's been acting really moody. He's been snapping at people and shirking his duties. She said he hasn't been over to visit the family or even his grandfather. He's been making excuses that he's too busy with school to do so, but she doesn't believe that's it. On top of everything, she said the leader of his clan, Tatsunosuke Kasaima, has been pursuing the Yukimuras. Something about a business deal. I didn't quite understand at all. This Yukamura sounded like she was under so much stress, and she's always been so kind to me. I thought about what I could do to help them, but I was scared to talk to Tatsuya while he's like this, so I tried to find you instead. I see. I had no idea. I haven't spoken to Tatsuya since the day we broke up. It feels really weird talking about this, especially with Haruna. But isn't he your partner in class? He is, but I don't think either of us have been mature enough to continue with that. He hasn't mentioned anything, and neither have I. I guess he might also think I'm fine enough on my own now. I'm not sure how much you know, but my powers have calmed down, so I don't technically need him anymore. It seems like he needs you. Ow. Haruna, don't you still have feelings for him? You must, or you wouldn't be doing all of this. I suppose I'm that transparent. Yes, I still love Tatsuya. Hitting my own heart. Even if I knew, hearing the words ends up bothering me a lot more than I thought it would. But that doesn't mean we're right for each other. See, would you mind telling me what happened between you two? How you got together? Tatsuya didn't explain much. Alright then. Tatsuya and I met back in high school. It was in our second year. We were both in music courses together in music club after school. We were both pianists at the time. At about the same level, and we often got partnered together. I was very shy, so I didn't have many friends, but Tatsuya always talked to me like anyone else. And he was quiet enough that I was able to finally open up and talk to him. We became friends naturally, although I can't say I always understood the way he thought. I admired his confidence and intelligence. Tatsuya didn't have many friends either, but it was mostly because he was too abrasive to be. I was always afraid he'd be mean to me as well one day, but instead I found he became kinder and more patient as time went on. I can't tell you when I fell in love with him. These things just happen before you know it. But I found out he felt the same way as me when we kissed after he walked me home one day. Ugh, my heart! I swallow. The story is difficult to hear, but I try not to let it show on my face. Things always went well when we were together. At least that's what I thought. Around that time, his family started losing money and were forced to move out of their ancestral home. Tatsuya took on more responsibilities, and I was too young and dumb to understand the kind of stress he must have been under. So even back then, Tatsuya was burning himself out like this. I wonder how long it's been since he's just relaxed. I thought everything was going well. Finally, one day when we were walking home, I opened up and told Tatsuya the dream closest to my heart, become a famous pianist. But instead of responding how I hoped, he told me that it was a pipe dream, that things like that don't happen in the real world. I was in shock. I was so hurt by his words. I asked him, how could you say that? Not even looking at me, he told me he had to quit the musical club, so he knew that dream would be impossible for him already. He said I need to get real too, before I waste any more of my time. He was so cold. I finally thought I realized what everyone had been saying about him, so I shouted out those words at him that I regret so much. You're just like everyone else says. You're a cold, mean person that only knows how to hurt people. Words sound so similar to what I said to Tatsuya that I shift uncontrollably. It's no wonder he wanted to break up with me after that. I'll never forget how surprised and hurt he looked. He didn't say a word, and I ran home the rest of the way. Haruna gently wipes her tears away. I went home and cried. The next day I changed all my classes with him. I never spoke to him again until last month. But I always regretted what I said to him that day. And as I got older, I started to believe in my mind that we should have never broken up, that we could have made things work, So when I saw him again, I thought that was a sign that I should try to fix things. But it seems like Tatsuya hasn't changed and I haven't either. And now history's repeated itself. Tatsuya is a kind person inside, and he's dealt with a lifetime of people misunderstanding him, saying cruel things about him. I don't think he can take any more pain. I don't think he'll ever let anyone else in again, when he was already hesitant with me. But I think there's still a chance for you and him. I'm sure Tatsuya is going through a tough time right now, and honestly, I'm not strong enough to be at his side. So please, don't give up on Tatsuya, okay? After finally hearing the entire story, and realizing how hard this must be for Haruna, I'm not sure what to say. I don't know if it can work out either. Tatsuya and I fight all the time, and nothing's been easy for us. But that's why I think you can do it. Fight because you care so much, and because you're two strong people. I don't know you well, but if Tatsuya chose you, I believe in you, and both of you. Thanks, Haruna. I'll give it some thought. Haruna wipes her tears away and smiles brilliantly. Good luck. I'll be rooting for you. I nod and get up from the bar. Haruna watches me as I leave the bar, her confident smile never leaving her face. If she can believe in us, can I believe we still have a chance too? I don't know, bro. After I had finished my shift, I went home and completed my bedtime rituals. I'm sitting in my bed, staring blankly at my phone. I can't stop thinking about Haruna's story, and Tatsuya and Katsunosuke. And of course, my role in all of this. When did things get so complicated? Within a month. I sigh and start typing to the only person left who might be able to give me more insight so I can finally make my decision. Can we meet up tomorrow? I press send and get into bed. A few moments later, my phone buzzes. I hold my breath as I pick it up and read the text. Of course. When? Is it Emmy? I begin arranging a meeting tomorrow after classes. I believe that by tomorrow night, this whole thing will be over. I'll choose who to side with tomorrow, and I'll stick with it till the end of the deal. I'll bring my information to father as soon as I can and pray I've made the right choice. I probably didn't. I snuggle under the covers, and for the first time in a long time, I enjoy peaceful sleep. It's Tuesday evening after my classes, sitting on one of the benches of the empty courtyard. The October air is chilly, and I find it rather refreshing. Still, I've been here for a few moments and no sign of him. Oh, it's a him. He better not have forgotten to show up. Is it, Taku? Is it Taku? No. Oh. Wait, yeah, Taku, right? Takumi? I continue to wait, pulling my cardigan closer to me for warmth. That's when I see a figure in the distance. I wave at him so he'll see where I am. But the figure doesn't wave back and I realize it's not him. Well, that's not embarrassing or anything. Who are you? I need protection. As the figure gets closer, I can see it's a slender person with a hood up. I'm suddenly stricken by a bad feeling like an omen, and I start to rise up from the bench. That's when the figure raises two hands up, their expression unchanging. I can see something. Electricity? Back from hand to hand, I can feel their murderous intent. At the same moment, they throw out their hands and lightning rapidly arcs towards me. I fling myself out of the way, landing in the grass. Oh my god! Oh my god, what's happening? Why are they attacking me? They probably think I'm the reason why their family is torn. Technically right, because I'm choosing Tatsuya over Katsu. I quickly roll over and fumble for my gear crystal. The person has stopped walking, but is about to throw more electricity at me. I scramble to get up and activate my gear crystal. The person tilts her head to the side, examining me while electricity hops from hand to hand. I quickly try to think back to my supernatural courses. Ice against lightning. What happens? Come on, Michiko. I don't know. The enemy just seems to decide I'm not a threat because they widen their arms and the tiny lightning in their hands intensifies. I try to calm myself and throw out a hand, causing an ice wall to erect in front of me. That should buy me some time to run. I immediately return to run, but then I hear a crackling sound as the lightning hits the ice. I look back to see the wall melting and the enemy sauntering toward me. No, that's right, electricity melts ice. But all I know is ice spells. I could have sworn you were a fire girl. Frantic, I start backing up. I try to forming an icicle in my hand. I send it flying at the enemy, but they only had to move slightly for it to miss them. Would make sense. Electricity is kind of like fire, like corners of their mouth quiver slightly, smirking at my failed attempt. This time, they make a quick, complex motion with their hands. Sparks fly everywhere as they summon what appears to be a giant spear of lightning floating between us. How did you know I was here? I realize there's no way I can outrun it at the same time, that I see that there's someone behind the enemy. Two black gloved hands appear from behind them, one holding a dagger and the other wrapping around their torso. The blade quickly presses against their throat and their eyes go wide as they begin to comprehend the situation. It's Takumi! Looking like a badass. Takumi speaks in a raspy low voice that I almost don't recognize. Let your power go. If you even hesitate. Takumi presses the dagger deeper into his throat and the man coughs. The crackling spheres fades out, but Takumi doesn't move. Who sent you? You think I'm playing? I already know you don't want to die, or you would have killed her already. I feel sick when I think about what would have happened if he decided not to listen to Takumi. Why should I tell you when you could just kill me anyway? Because I'll kill you if you don't. You're ruthless. Says the guy that just tried to kill someone in cold blood. No time for chit-chat. So get on with it before I lose my patience. The Mage Society. The name sounds familiar to me, but I have no idea who that is. Taco seems to, though. Why are they after her? If she dies, he'll lose his trump card. The Rio clan will fall. Right, I'm his trump card. But I'm not going with him. Takumi removes his dagger from the man's throat and kicks him in front of him in one fluid motion. While the man is stumbling, Takumi grabs him by the hood and jerks his head back at the same time as he brandishes a syringe. He jams the needle into the man's neck before I can even comprehend what's happening and pushes down the lever. What are you doing? Just put him to sleep. The man's eyes roll. Huh? He's not going to sleep. Rolls back into his head and Takumi lets go of his hood. He drops to the ground unconscious. Oh, okay. I guess he sleeps with his eyes rolled back? Alright. Putting him to sleep. Takumi bends down and grabs one of the man's legs. Help me drag him. What? We don't have time for this, Michiko. Hearing the firmness in his voice, I reluctantly walk over and grab the man's other foot. I help Takumi drag him into the bushes. Are we seriously just going to leave him here like this? I got what I needed. Besides, I'm not messing around with that group if I can't help it. Let's go before we're discovered. Change out of your gear and I'll meet you on the roof of the building 7 in a few minutes. Takumi looks at the windows near us and finds an empty classroom. I watch incredulously as he takes out some sketchy-looking lockpick and works the window works the window open in seconds. Get going. Alright. Eesh. Takumi nods at me and hops into the open window. I sigh and deactivate my gear crystal, wanting to get the heck out of there myself. After rushing through the campus and sneaking up to the roof of the building, I'm doubled over panting. You're late. Sorry, some of us aren't freaking ninjas. I'm just kidding. You did better than I thought you would anyway. Thanks. You should avoid being alone for a few days. Seems you're being targeted. But why? I didn't do anything. I can't say for sure, but I'll look into it. Just stay safe for now. Don't walk home alone and try to remain alert. I have no friends. Who's gonna walk me home? It'd be better if you could stay with someone else. Right, well, I'll try to be alert, but it'd be weird trying to stay with someone else. What am I supposed to tell them? That there's assassins after me? You could stay with us, though we're not always home. I don't know about that. The idea of staying with two men, one of them my one-time ex, doesn't sit right with me. Whatever, we can figure it out later. There's something you want to talk about, right? Yeah, there is. But first, thanks for saving me, Takumi. His expression kills me. I feel like maybe Takumi might be my favorite route. Maybe, just because of the childhood relationship. Plus 10 points. No problem, like I said, I'll always be there for you whenever I can. But this thing you want to talk about, it's about Kosaima, isn't it? Why not? I want to know what you'll tell me about him. I've gone out with him, spent some time. I have a better idea of the kind of person he is, but there's still a lot I don't know. I was hoping you could fill in some of those gaps. I can, yeah, but you might not like what you hear. You might not see me in the same light either. Well, Taku, I just saw you threaten to kill a man and I still like you fine, so I think I'll be okay. Or will be okay. I'll be okay. Right, okay. Yumi takes a deep breath and presses a hand against the fence, looking out to the city. I bet you look beautiful, by the way. I'm a private detective. I choose who I work for and for what reasons I work. Through a series of circumstances, I become employed by both the Yukamura family and Kasaima, Tatsuya and Katsunosuke. Uh-oh. You were working for them? Like a double agent? Exactly. It's not something I normally do. I'm not a spy, I'm a detective. But when Tatsuya came to me for help, I couldn't just turn my best friend down. By that time, I was already working for Kasaima, and my own personal code prevented me from just dropping the job. They actually both wanted me to look into and watch each other, amongst other things in Kasaima's case. I see. So, Takumi spied on his own friend. But my job for both of them is over, so I can talk about this to an extent now. I researched Kasaima. Whatever you think of him, I know for a fact that he's done terrible things to his family members. Like what? Taku? Murder would be just one of his crimes. Why, he murdered a family member? He's killed people? Well, I figured he killed people, but killed a family member is... Whoa. Takumi gives a short nod. He may or may not have done it himself, but he's given the order. Yeah, like I assumed that kind of murder. That's just scratching the surface. You don't need to know the rest. I hope you can see why leaving you with a guy like that might make me nervous. Well, yeah, but I knew he wouldn't do anything to you. You're worth too much to him. Besides that, you're free to live your own life however you choose. I was fine with watching over you. You watched over me? You're so cute. Well, yeah, I couldn't just leave you alone. Tatsuya would have been mad at me too. He wanted me to look out for you as my part of my job. What? I was surprised when I saw you in bed with Kasaima. I knew it was none of my business. That must have been way awkward. My first priority was getting you out safely. Nothing happened, you know. Yeah, I believe you. Plus, Kasaima's a weird guy. He's never been known to force himself on a woman. Really? I'm a bit surprised. Whatever else Kasaima is, he's definitely complicated. I think in his twisted mind, everything he does makes sense if it's for his goals. I think in his head, he's a good guy, making sacrifices so no one else has to. I don't know what to make of him, myself. Sorry it's not much, but that's all I can tell you about Kasaima. I'm sure he's already told you his goals, so who you decide to support will be up to you. What about the Yukamuras? Is he right that they support outdated traditions? He is. The Yukamuras are usually the clan leaders, or pressure the Kasaimas into doing what they want. But every leader is different, as Kasaima himself is proving, so I don't see a point in trying to predict what will happen if he doesn't get it. If I were you, I'd just take the evidence that's before my eyes, and make judgment based on that. A logical approach that I can't argue with. Thank you, Takumi. You sure are thanking me a lot these days, because you keep doing so much for me. How about you thank me by just making yourself happy as possible? No matter what you do, I'm on your side. But, alright. Alright, Takumi, I'll do my best. Takumi puts his mask back on his face then. Come on, it's getting late. You can at least stay at our place for the night. It won't be safe at yours. We can decide what to do long term later. Well, alright, I guess. Choosing between facing an assassin or sleeping in an apartment with two men, when did my life get like this? Takumi and I agree to a rendezvous after he gets changed. Once he does, he takes me to a scooter and we head to their apartment. Not ready to see this guy. On the ride to Taku and Tatsuya's apartment, I have a lot to reflect on. Takumi spied on his friend, but helped him and protected me too. Katsunosuke has killed others to reach his goals, but only so that no one else will ever have to suffer. And Tatsuya and his family stubbornly believe their way is right, but are losing everything. All of these choices suck. They honestly do. I can see the good and bad in everyone's position. I sigh and come to realize that there is no right answer. It's like Taku said, all I can do is what I think is best on base what I know. On top of my bigger worries, I'm also feeling distressed at the thought of seeing Tatsuya again, much less sleeping in the same place as him. Since talking to Haruna yesterday, I knew this day would come, though I didn't know how soon. I've been running away from everything too long. It's time to face the music. Admitting this seems to clue most of the anxiety in my heart. But then when it's gone, I find that I've already known what I should do for some time. Uh-oh. Last chapter. Episode's almost over though. What was the chapter's name? Defrost, sorry. Despite my bravado, when we get there, Tatsuya's nowhere to be seen. Which I already assumed. Anxious, I sit on the couch while Taka goes about his daily tasks, such as cleaning his gear or taking a shower. Every noise Taka makes causes me to jump because I think it's Tatsuya. Having none of my things with me, I end up watching TV for hours and falling asleep on the couch. And this is where we're gonna end today's episode off, as well as end the week off with this episode. I feel like the whole entire time we just got sad and even more sad as the episodes went on. But hopefully now we're gonna get some happiness maybe, and we can eventually know what route we ended up at. Maybe, I don't, there's like, there's the bad ending for sure, and then there's like the good and then the something ending, or maybe I'm wrong. There's like 2 different happy ones. So that's interesting. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.